In part 2, I have a couple more things to show you before we get started with reteach. So there's a little algebra portion of our assignment today. So I may see a missing numerator, but I do know that some number of fourths is equal to 2/8. So how do I go? Go with what I know. I know the eighths. How do I get down to 4? Remember, in my mind, I'm dividing by 2. Whatever I do in the denominator, I have to do in the numerator. There's my fancy 1, 2 over 2. 8 divided by 2 is 1. X equals 1. What about this one? Start with what you know. I know 12 can get down to 4. I'm only using multiplication or division. Do not use adding or subtracting. 12 divided by something, I'm getting smaller, so I know I'm dividing by 3 is 4. If I divide 3 in the denominator, I have to divide 3 in the numerator. 9 divided by 3 is 3, so X equals 3. What about this bigger number 1? What if I have 18 27ths? What would be my missing denominator? Well, I'm going down from 18 down to 2. What am I dividing by? I think I'm dividing by 9. 18 divided by 9 is 2, so whatever I do in the numerator, I do in the denominator. 9 over 9 is a fancy 1. 27 divided by 9 is 3. X equals 3. So as you can see, your multiplication and division facts are going to come in really, really handy as we continue with our work with fractions. The final thing I want to show you before we do our assignment is the idea of a few more examples of simplest form. How do you know when you're really at that simplest form part? I'm going to give you some harder ones a moment. What if I see something like 24 30ths? Pretty big numbers. That is certainly not in simplest form. The first thing I ask myself is, are they both even numbers? And the answer is yes. So I can always divide even numbers by 2. Let's start with that. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 30 divided by 2, not a basic fact, but a fact you should know, is 15. Before I think that's done, I have to ask myself, is there any other number I can divide by 12 and by 12 divided by that number and 15 divided by that number? Oh, I hope you're shouting out 3. You are exactly right, because 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. So my simplest form answer went all the way down to 4/5. There's a few ways you can always know if you're at simplest form. If I count this, I call this counting order. 4, 5. That's how I would count if I was just counting normally. If I get a fraction down to counting order, I know I'm at simplest form. So in this case, we divided by 2 and we had to divide by 3. If I saw that 6 was a big number right at the start, I could have divided both by 6 and gotten down to 4/5 right away. So finding the biggest number I can divide both by is helpful. Couple more. 5/15. One of the other things I always ask myself, are they both even numbers? No, in this case they're not. So another question I ask myself is, can I take my numerator and divide it into my denominator? Yes, I can. So my fancy 1 is that 5 out of 5, or 5 over 5. I'm going to divide both by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. I know I'm in simplest form, not because I have counting order this time, but because I have a 1 in the numerator. There is no other number I can divide both of these numerators and denominator by, except for 1. And so I know I have arrived. This one. What if I have 10/12ths? Get yourself in habit of asking a few questions as I put things in simplest form. Always dividing with simplest form because I want to end up with smaller numbers. Are they both even? Yes, they are. I know I can do 2, sometimes 4, but it looks like I'm going to divide by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 12 divided by 2 is 6. How do you know you're in simplest form? Because it's counting order. 5/6. Great. I have one last one. And I'd love you to think it through and see if you can beat me to the answer. What if I have 16/20ths? What would you say is the biggest number that you can divide both of those by? Now, maybe you said 2. You notice that they're both even numbers. Now, what if I do that? I'm going to 16 divided by 2 is 8. 20 divided by 2 is 10. You have to stop and ask yourself, is that simplest form? I think you would say no. Why? Because they're both even numbers yet. So we didn't find the biggest one right away. That's okay. That sometimes happens, but we can't stop until we're absolutely sure it's in simplest form. But let's see. They are both even numbers, so maybe we can divide by 2 again. 4, and put a little equal sign there. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Am I at simplest form? Yes, because I am down to counting order. Doesn't always have to be counting order, but if I get down to counting order, that is a simplest form fraction. Nice work. I hope that you're beginning to catch on how these fancy ones, dividing always to get to simplest form, using sometimes multiplication to get to just equivalent fractions. So let's take a look now together at Reteach 19.3. Now this paper has made it a little bit almost too easy for us because it has given us the number that we should divide by or multiply by. On the other side, you will have to make sure that you know and pick the right number. But again, the simplest form, I'm always going to divide. In fact, sometimes I like kids to put that on your paper somewhere. Probably on the top. But for simplest form, I'm always going to divide. And equivalent fractions, I can multiply by any number I want to. Let's begin. Write each fraction in simplest form, then write another equivalent fraction. I would encourage you, if you want to really test yourself, just pause the video for a few moments, work this problem, and then come on back and grade it yourself. So let's go over these answers now so that you're feeling really confident about how to make simplest form and equivalent fractions. Here we go. 6/9. I can see that they both can be divided by 3, so the answer is 2/3. Know its simplest form? It's counting order. But how could I make an equivalent fraction? Well, maybe I can pick that fancy one, 3/3. Then I would need to multiply 18/27. Number 2, what's 8/10 in simplest form? Did you notice that they were both even numbers? The answer is 4/5. I know I'm at simplest form because I happen to have counting order. 8/10 can be an equivalent fraction. They're telling us, hey, let's multiply 3/3. All right, so I have 24/30. 3/6. I hope you begin to automatically see what that could equal. If I divide both by 3, I get 1/2. Isn't 3 half of 6? So those half for equivalent fractions are the ones you're going to want to just recognize really quickly. If I need to make equivalent, well, they're suggesting we times by 4 this time. It could really be any number we want. So 12/24. Do you see how 12/24 is also 1/2 in simplest form? They're all related. They all kind of give us the same amount. Number 4, let's divide by a 4. We could do 2, but we wouldn't get down there fast enough. 4 is a bigger number we can divide both by. So we have 2/3. If we multiply both the numerator and denominator by 2, I get 16/24. 2/16. If I didn't have my help right there, I would say, hey, 2 can be divided by 16, so pick 2. And they suggest that. The answer is 1/8. I know I'm at a simplest form because I see a 1 in the numerator. That's another way to tell that you are right. To make equivalent fractions, we can times both by 3 and get 6/48. 9/15. I hope that you begin, if you see 15, I would think 5, but 5 can't be divided by 9. But whenever you see a 9, chances are you're going to have to divide a 3 out of it. And that's what they're suggesting here. So the answer is 3/5. To make an equivalent fraction, I could multiply by 2 and get 18/30. Just a few more. I hope that you've seen that sometimes they're suggesting something to do right here, but on the other side, you can pick really almost any number when you're making equivalent fractions. But simplifying, we always have to divide by the biggest number that we can. So 6 does go into 18. So let's pick 6. The answer is 1/3. To make equivalent fractions, I have 12/36. 15 and 20, don't those both look like multiples of 5? Well, let's divide by 5 and get 3/4. Ooh, counting order. I know I'm right. How about if I make equivalent fractions? Well, doing those multiplication, 45/60. Last one. Does 4 go into 22? Not evenly, but they're both even numbers, so I can divide by 2, 2/11. If I multiply both by 3, there's my fancy one, 3/3, I have 12/66. So there you go. Now on the practice side, which is your assignment today, you are again giving me a couple of them. Are each fractions equivalent? Well, let's compare. Do you see that fancy one that could go between those numbers? Remember, it has to be the same number in the numerator and the denominator. So I guess you could say yes or no. How do you know? Well, because I'm multiplying by 3, or if I simplify both of them, they are equal the same thing. Those are some of the ways you can explain. In the second section, write each fraction in simplest form. Please put that on the top line. Then write another equivalent fraction. So let's put this here so we're reminded. Simplest form, we must divide by the biggest number we can. But with the equivalent fraction, we can multiply. And I'll tell you, that's how I grade it. I go from here and I think, do I see what fancy one you picked? Maybe you picked 2, maybe you picked 3, maybe you like to multiply by 5 or 10. It doesn't matter which one you pick, but you must do the multiplication correctly. On the bottom part, you have a little of the algebra. And remember, with algebra, we should say x equals something, and a couple of more on the bottom. So I would love for you to complete this carefully, and I hope that this day, and we're going to do a little bit of this equivalent fraction simplest form stuff in the next couple of days, so we are going to be quite the experts. But I think you've learned a lot today. I hope you've paid attention and listened carefully. If you didn't catch it all, feel free to watch some portions of this video again, and please complete practice 19.3 as your main assignment today. Thanks and have a great day.